Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today I want to show you some updated squad gameplay. I think I've done maybe 1 or 2 squad videos on this channel before. Very early gameplay of this game. It's come a long way since then. The game's been greenlit on Steam. You can get into it now, I believe, if you're willing to buy early access to it. It's very alpha right now. It's buggy, but it is so much better than the first time I played it, and I'm actually having a lot of fun playing it. Now, what is Squad? Well, it's being developed by Offworld Industries, and it's a spiritual successor to the Project Reality mod that was made for Battlefield 2, and that was actually a very popular mod for a while. Basically, the game is simulating infantry combat at the moment. Hopefully it's going to be vehicles in the near future, but simulating infantry combat in Afghanistan and possibly Iraq. I'm not actually 100% sure on each of these locations, but in a very realistic way. The UI is very minimal, and it's something that I really like about the game and really appreciate because it doesn't break the immersion on any sort of significant level. Even the voice comms kind of sound like somebody's talking over radio, and it has the realistic sounds and stuff like that. So you really do feel like you're a soldier in Afghanistan. Now, as the name suggests, when you get into the game, you join a squad, you accept a role in this squad. You don't just get to pick any gun or weapon or accessories that you want. You basically have a designated role within that squad. There's limited amounts of roles within each squad, only so many snipers, only so many medics, support gunners, standard infantry, that kind of thing. So you kind of pick your role and then go out and play with your squad. There's multiple levels of voice comm as well. You can talk to your squad, you can talk locally, so if somebody who's not in your squad is just near you, you can actually yell to them, although I think you can actually hear the enemies when you do this because it's supposed to be like your character just shouting in proximity. And then there's a commander channel where the squad leaders can actually talk to other squad leaders and the commander, I guess, and just coordinate the general strategy, just so you don't get that kind of communication overlaying the rest of your gameplay. You can kind of focus and listen to the sounds around you. The sounds have come a long way. The graphics have come a very long way since the first time I played it, and the frame rate is actually doing a lot better. In fact, what got me playing it again was the fact that I could scale up my resolution to 1440p finally. When it first got greenlit on Steam, I joined in and it was only 1080p, and I'm like, man, it looks like crap on my monitor. I don't want to play until 1440p. Well, it now looks great on 1440p. I mean, it depends on the map a little bit still. Some of the maps are unfinished and some of the textures aren't quite there yet, but some of the maps look incredibly good, incredibly, almost frighteningly realistic at times. Now, something that I really appreciate about this game and that I know is core to the game design philosophy is the fact that it's not over encumbered with just complicated controls, an insane user interface, and just all these things that will keep you away from a game or make the learning curve incredibly steep. It's one of the reasons why I don't like playing Arma, because there's 8 different crouch stances, a whole full keyboard layout that you need to memorize and map and make sure that you know everything going on. This is a game where if you're familiar with your average shooter, if you play Battlefield or something like that, you can jump into this, look at the control layout for half a second and know what you're doing. Get into the game. There's a few controls here and there that you might not get right off the bat, like aiming, like when you aim down sights and then hold shift, you kind of zoom in a little bit further, and this actually has a bit of stamina. It's supposed to sort of simulate holding your rifle up and getting ready to aim. Well, in real life, your gun's heavy and you can't necessarily hold it up precisely on target for that period of time. So you actually have a limited period of time at which you can do really precision aiming. Now, although the learning curve is relatively straightforward, and if you want to just play a standard infantry class, all you have to do is kind of move around with your squad and listen to the squad leader and take objectives. The map is pretty much the only thing telling you what's going on, where your teammates are, what objectives you need to get to. The hard part of this game is that it's an incredibly realistic damage model. It feels like about 1 shot to the body you can survive. 2, you're dead. 1 shot to the head, you're dead for sure. And maybe even body shots might kill you in 1 shot if they hit you in the right place. I'm actually not 100% sure on how the damage model works. All I know is that you die incredibly fast, and you really don't have a lot of different weapons to choose from, so you're not like, maybe I'll use this gun instead of that because it kills in this many shots. No, you got an AK, an AKM, like an M4. It's very basic, and you're not really going to feel at a huge disadvantage regardless of which weapon you have. Although although the M4 does have a red dot sight, which is quite nice, and I like it better than the AK's irons, but it certainly wasn't slowing me down when I was playing for the Russians or for, I think ISIS is the sort of Islamic fundamentalist group in this. I'm not 100% sure, but I thought I saw like an ISIS banner or something like that. Now, just rewatching this gameplay here, something that I appreciate about it just so much is the fact that they're trying to make it look realistic, not only just like in the visual styling of it, but the map design. It's a huge part of it, and they're not going to throw in all these crazy saturated colors just to make the visuals pop, you know, make it look like good game art when you capture a screenshot. This here is a beautiful image of like a poppy field and then a village behind it, mountains in the background, but it's also a very drab color scheme overall because, you know, these environments are actually pretty drab. You're not going to see neon lights in the background and just like a blue building here and a yellow building there. It's all kind of very sandstony and ugly in certain extents, but while you're playing it, it really makes you feel like you're actually at the location, because I believe some of these maps are modeled incredibly closely off of real locations, if not identically from real locations. Now, I'm not sure how many game modes are in this right now. It might just be one, the basic game mode, which is kind of like Conquest, except that you can't just capture any point around the map. You have to go in sort of a linear fashion, so you can't capture the next objective until you have the objective before that. You can flank around and start messing with them, though, well before you capture an objective. It's interesting when you push into a spawn point, because sometimes you're just like in a building and guys are spawning in front of you and you're shooting them, and it feels kind of gamey, like you're just kind of breaking spawn camping situations and stuff like that. I mean, it's hard to get around the fact that this is a game and you have more than one life, but I feel like they could probably do a few things to kind of tighten up the spawn system and make it a little bit less cheesy in those regards. The player movement is realistic in terms of your speed. If you've been running too long, you run out your stamina and you can't jump like over a wall or something like that. So you have to consider that if you're like running through a field trying to get away from fire, you might actually run out of your stamina so you can't jump over the wall in front of you. I think it might be a little too extreme in certain cases, and I love the fact that they're trying to make the game extremely realistic, but at other times it's frustrating, especially the jump mechanic. I'm like, man, even if I was dead exhausted, I would still manage to like roll over this wall if somebody was shooting at me, yet in the game you can't. And then there's other things where it's like they try and create realistic weapon switching speeds, where if I need to like switch from my RPG back to my assault rifle, that can take like a couple of seconds. And although this would be realistic if I was like calmly holstering my RPG, resituating it on my back, and then getting my assault rifle, if somebody like pops up in front of my face and I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, in real life, I'm just gonna drop whatever gun I'm carrying and pick up whichever weapon is the fastest to get to. But then in game, I'm stuck with this slow, methodical transition that just feels unrealistic. It's like your soldier doesn't understand the situation at hand, is like, hang on, let me put the RPG on the back and I'll get my AK out, and you're like, there's a guy right here, he's in front of me, just drop the gun, get my other gun. So that kind of thing gets to me. And the other thing that I wish was in this game is destruction, because especially with RPGs, you got all these sort of like mud huts and stuff like that. If you could blow holes in walls or hit a wall that a guy was in, like shooting out of a window, that would just be so much more useful. I think this game like would just benefit so much from it. But then again, destruction is a big part of game development, and I'm sure it's pretty costly in terms of budget. So it won't kill this game, but man, would it be nice to have destroyable walls. Anyway, I'd like to play this game more and get more technical with it and just show you some cool squad adventures that go on. I think it's finally at a state where I can say, yeah, if you like the idea of playing a milsim shooter that doesn't require like 2 years to learn how to play, or has a totally uninviting community, then check out Squad. Actually, I think it's worthwhile, and I think it's going to be a good game. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.